Rooney, instant control. Fancies his chances. Oh, remember the name! Wayne Rooney!
They called him a street footballer, a prodigy, a bull in ballet shoes. Wayne Rooney wasn't just England's great hope, he was football's great contradiction. At 16 years of age, Wayne Rooney wasn't just playing, he was creating. But what he was creating was not a perfect painting. It was raw, loud, and flawed in most places. As someone who paints iconic footballers for a living, I have a soft spot for a footballing genius with a dark side and a great story. In this video, we're going to question whether Rooney's mishaps, shall we say, affected his career in a negative way, or if maybe they were the reasons why he was so talented in the first place. Wayne Rooney didn't come from an academy dream team like most players do today. Wayne Rooney was potentially one of the last players to come from council estates and concrete pitches. He didn't simply learn the game, he felt it. It was a part of who he was growing up as a young lad in Liverpool, and I know exactly how that feels when you grow up and all you want to do is become a footballer in this city. Rooney didn't finesse defenders, he obliterated them. He was raw and powerful and had plenty of attitude. He didn't curl shots in delicately, he blasted them through the net. But somehow, Wayne made all of that beautiful. At just 16 years of age in the Premier League, Wayne Rooney scored a goal that broke Arsenal's invincible run. At 18, he took Euro 2004 by storm. And by age 20, he was already carrying Manchester United's stars and England players on his shoulders. Most great players that we know of develop into just that. But Wayne Rooney was already the finished piece. However, in Wayne's masterpiece, his brushstrokes were already wild and his paint was already cracked. Wayne, even as a Liverpool fan watching, played like a force of nature. He was like a 90-minute emotional breakdown that you just couldn't turn away from. He was neither graceful like Thierry Henry or surgical like Van Nistelrooy. To me, he was chaotic brilliance, a symphony of rage and pure quality. Sir Alex Ferguson's famous quote was that Wayne Rooney was born with fire in his belly. But unfortunately, fire doesn't just create, it destroys too. To me, Rooney's genius wasn't just footballing, it was human as well. And humans, as we know, make a lot of mistakes. He was short-tempered, emotional, and a fighter both on and off the pitch. The press simply didn't know how to box Wayne Rooney in. Was he a working class hero or a ticking time bomb? A role model, or would he become a cautionary tale? For every headline about Wayne Rooney's goals and brilliance on the pitch, there was also scandal to go along with it. And almost every moment of magic came with a question mark. The world watched him lose his temper with teammates, referees, and sometimes with himself. Wayne Rooney wasn't polished or polite, but one thing you can't say is that he wasn't real. For me, Wayne Rooney didn't really decline. He more or less faded. But of course not without having an illustrious career at Manchester United. But by 30, he'd pretty much run himself into the ground. He didn't have the longevity of players that last until they're 34, 38, but maybe it's because he started too soon that he retired early as well. Maybe Wayne had too many seasons of carrying too much, but for me, his career was more like a war rather than a piece of art. There was no grand farewell tour and no emotional last dance. In his later years, he was just slow and away from the spotlight. It's always surprised me that when you speak to people about who the greatest player in Premier League history is, Wayne Rooney's name doesn't really get mentioned that much. And for me, even as a Liverpool fan watching him play for Man United and Everton, both teams that I've hated growing up, I always consider Wayne to be one of the best and one of the most iconic players of all time, both in the Premier League and internationally as well. Wayne Rooney could pretty much do everything on a football pitch. He could spray balls 40 yards, he could score with his head, his left foot, his right foot. He was good in a tackle, he was great at defending from the front, he was aggressive, he was fast forward thinking, he was creative, and you just couldn't take your eyes off him, and he could control a game at any point. I always admired Wayne for having that aggression and having that much influence on the pitch and his teammates and the club that he played for. And there's something inside of me that loves the fact that Man United's greatest ever player and hero and captain was Wayne Rooney, who, of course, is a Scouser. But why isn't Wayne in the conversation of the greatest ever with more people? To me, I'm not sure. He had everything that he needed to be in that conversation. He was a painting of potential, fury, genius and love for the game. And Wayne Rooney refused to compromise on himself. He didn't sand down his rough edges, he used them at every moment that he could. To me, he was like Picasso in a pub brawl. He was a masterpiece that bled, but he never fitted into the gallery of perfection. But maybe that's what made him and his career so beautiful. I mean, look at some of Wayne Rooney's goals, his overhead kick versus Manchester City. You would never expect Wayne Rooney to score such a goal, so athletic and so precise, because he was so wild and quite honestly angry. But when you see majestic goals like that and the one against Newcastle, the volley, you're almost surprised but expectant at the same time. To me, Wayne Rooney was like a genius jack-in-the-box. He was capable of anything at any moment. Just wind them up to a certain point and see what happens. Angry Wayne Rooney was just a different animal. But let's get back to the question that no one's asking. If Wayne Rooney wasn't so flawed, would he have been even greater than he was? Would he have went on to play for another 5 or 6 years at the top level, winning every trophy that there is to win? Would he be considered in the GOAT conversation a little bit more? Maybe he would have, but to me, maybe he wouldn't have been Wayne Rooney if he did that. Because to me, the same rage that earned him red cards is the same rage that caused him to smash in goals from 30 yards out. The same temper that cost him in certain games, that contributed to the same heart that made him give everything he possibly had in every game he ever played. To me, Rooney's greatness wasn't in spite of his flaws, it was because of them. You never look at a painting that's hung up in the Louvre or in an art gallery and wonder why the artist didn't paint inside the lines. When you look at a masterpiece, you tend to feel something. And that's what we got with Wayne Rooney. I did as a football fan first and a Liverpool fan second anyway. Wayne Rooney made you feel something, whether you agreed with what he was doing on and off the pitch or not. And that to me is what great sport and great art is about. And that's why I've recreated Wayne Rooney many times before. My favourite of which is this volley against Newcastle. For me, this goal epitomises everything Wayne Rooney was about. Rage, precision, anger, chaos and pure talent. The genius and the chaos built into a single strike of a football, which of course ended in the back of the net. Wayne Rooney wasn't perfect, but to me I think his legacy speaks for itself. Wayne Rooney was simply unforgettable. And in a world obsessed with perfection, maybe it's characters like Wayne Rooney that we need for our sport. If you like this video, you might like this video as well. And if you want to download any of my artwork for free, I don't just do Liverpool artwork, you can download any of my artwork as a phone wallpaper from the link in the description below, including many of the Wayne Rooney drawings you've seen in this video and from other teams as well. Thanks for watching, and if you think the world needs more characters like Wayne Rooney, just give me a follow. Have a boss day.